get is that undocumented immigrants pay billions of dollars in taxes to programs that they cannot access. Even after someone has gotten their green card, immigrants typically have to wait 5 years before they're eligible for federal public benefits. But what's even funnier is not only are we not draining the system, we're funding it. For example, a study found that immigrants, particularly undocumented immigrants, actually contribute more to the healthcare system in premiums and taxes than they take out. Immigrants put in $58.3 billion more than they received in care, while US-born citizens ran a $67 billion deficit. The Social Security Administration itself estimated that it collected $13 billion in taxes in 2010 from workers without documentation that those immigrants cannot access. But of course, there's education. And look, there's no question that there are economic costs associated with educating undocumented immigrants in America. I was one of them. I went to public school undocumented. But undocumented students like me represent literally 3% of the total cost annually to educate children in the United States. But I do imagine that with advancements in machine learning, education costs are going to go down significantly, which might offset this relatively small cost. Meanwhile, profit-hungry corporations shifted nearly $1 trillion in global profits to tax havens, but I don't hear much uproar about that. How come? Let's talk about who's really draining the system. Also, if it were about the economy, you'd think they'd spare some outrage for the people choosing to exploit undocumented workers instead of hiring local. And I would make the moral arguments, but the fact of the matter is appealing to humanity is not working right now. I think that's very obvious when both presidential candidates have no problem sending money over to another country to fund the slaughter of innocent children in Gaza, all in the name of nationalism. I mean, beyond nationalism, it's more about money and it's about safety. That's why I am highlighting arguments around how immigrants make us safer and make us more prosperous, because unfortunately, that's the language I have to speak in. So if you say you support immigrants but not the ones that enter illegally, then advocate for a reasonable pathway to legal residency. It's just common sense. Deporting people who made the same rational choice that you would have made if you were in their position does not solve the issue. It's bad policy, especially when immigrants make this country safer and more prosperous. Thank you for listening. Please be kind to each other, stay open-minded, and don't be an asshole if you don't have to be. Also, please share this video with anyone in your life who is anti-immigrant and just ask them to consider this information. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful one.